Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I replaced my old doorbell with a new upgraded Ring doorbell. Most household doorbells have a transformer that lowers the voltage on them, so it's not necessary to turn the electric off. But if you're unsure, it's always a good idea to turn the electric off at your circuit board before starting to replace your doorbell. Next, you want to locate your old chime on the wall, remove the cover, and use the jumper cable that is provided by Ring to disconnect and or bypass your old doorbell chime. You do this by loosening the screws and then sliding one part of the jumper cable behind each of these first two screws that you're feeding power to, and then screw the screws back in tight, and this will disconnect or bypass your original doorbell chime. And then we're just going to put the cover back on this doorbell chime because this is a beginner's how-to video. We're not going to work on removing the entire doorbell chime at this time. Now it's time to go outside and remove our old doorbell from our door frame or from our wall outside. Simply unscrew the doorbell and pull it out as far as you can so you can access those wires behind it. And you're going to see two wires attached to this doorbell. Go ahead and take your screwdriver and unscrew and loosen up those wires so you can detach them from your old doorbell. Make sure that your wires do not fall back into the door frame or into the wall, and that they are staying outside so you can work with them later. Okay, so your Ring doorbell has a little cover plate on it that goes around the entire outside. Apply some pressure. You can see me struggling with it here a little bit. And there's the cover plate right there. And you're going to have two screw holes, one at the top and one at the bottom. Now I'm going to put my Ring doorbell in the same location as my old doorbell, so I don't need to measure out any new screw holes or anything like that, or pre-drill anything right now. So I'm going to go to the back of my Ring doorbell and loosen these two connection screws, so that way I can hook my wires from my doorbell onto this ring, and then I will tighten the screws back down so I have a nice secure connection onto the back of my new Ring doorbell. And this is a good time to remind you all that I really appreciate anybody hitting the like button or subscribing to my channel for future videos. You can see I have my Ring doorbell hooked up now, and I'm going to flip it around just so the camera's upright. And now it's time to screw it into my existing door frame. Now I have a pretty easy door frame to screw into, so you're not going to see me drilling any pilot holes or worrying about any anchors. But Ring does provide some concrete anchors and some other types of anchors that you can use if you're drilling into, let's say, the brick that's next to my doorbell, or a metal door frame, or anything that's a little bit more challenging to screw into. This door frame's really easy. I can just line up my screws and drill directly into it to have a nice secure fit for my doorbell. At the end of screwing in the top and the bottom screws, I'm simply going to pop back on that cover plate around the outside of my doorbell, and then they provide a tiny little screw that you put in at the bottom of the cover plate to hold that in place. The kit that I bought for this doorbell came with a special screwdriver from Ring. It's basically a star tip screwdriver, and then, like I said earlier, there's a really tiny screw that will go into the cap around the Ring doorbell at the bottom, which will hold it in place and prevent it from falling off in the future, and just keep everything nice and secure since it is an outside electronic device. And your final step is to go back and turn that power back on if you decide to turn it off at the beginning of the process. And that's all there is to it. Now you can enjoy the safety and security of a Ring doorbell at your own house.